That's smart. That's smart. And on top of that, we are going to have a conversation with the coach that he's going to match wits with, Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning's a hell of a coach. He's doing a great job. I love the guy. He's coming up at 10:20, or about 15 minutes from right now. He's got a great SEC background. He's doing a great job with Oregon. He's a stud. Can't wait to see that game. And Oregon is a 3-touchdown favorite. 3-touchdown favorite. So for all the hype that Colorado's getting, they're a 3-touchdown favorite over a top 20 team. So that should tell you all you need to know about Oregon and what it's like to go to Austin and play there. The head football coach at Oregon, he is in his second season and has an overall record of 13-3. He previously had served as the D coordinator at Georgia, where he won a 2021 national championship. The Ducks 3-0. They're ranked 10th in the AP poll, and they are hosting a big one tomorrow at Austin. They take on number 19 ranked Colorado. You're joined right now by the head coach of the Ducks, Dan Lanning. Dan, it is so good to have you back. Thanks for joining us. Dan, how are you?
Doing great, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thanks so much. So the team is putting up enormous numbers so far. You're averaging 58 points per game. That's number 2 in the country, Dan. You're 4th in the nation in total offense. So bring me up to date first. How pleased are you with what you're seeing from your team thus far, and what are your biggest takeaways from your non-conference wins?
Yeah, the preseason's over now. We played some teams that we should beat, and should beat, handedly. And then we played, some battles too. We had a battle with Texas Tech early this season on the road where our team showed some resiliency. But certainly pleased with our progress, but excited to see the steps we take next.
You brought up something that I wanted to talk about, that fact that you went to Lubbock. I mean, as explosive as you are offensively, and I will get into that, I thought the team showed legitimate grit in coming back to beat Tech 38-30 in Lubbock. What did the team show you in scoring 20 in the fourth quarter to win that game? And then what does a win like that do for their collective confidence?
Yeah, a couple things. One, that we can win in multiple ways. In that game, we had 4 takeaways on defense. We had some, big stops and some critical moments where we were put in some adverse situations. And then, obviously, we have a leader in Bo Nix that's just special, right? He led a big fourth quarter comeback, 20 points in the fourth quarter, from both sides of the ball. But it's just good to go see the team, have that resiliency in a game like that.
Dan Lanning joining us. I'm just going to follow you around. So you mentioned Bo Nix. I mean, he's building on a great season that he had last year when he was good for 43 touchdowns. He looks great once again. Beyond his experience, what makes this dude so effective, and what do you enjoy the most about coaching him?
I enjoy the fact that Bo comes to my office. We just talk about the game afterwards like we're 2 coaches. And sometimes I remind myself, hey, this guy's a college quarterback. He's not one of the coaches, but he has such an innate ability to get us into great plays. He has autonomy on the field as far as being able to check us into things. He's really in good rhythm and sync with our offensive coordinator, Will Stein. So I'm just thrilled, to get to coach him. He's a phenomenal young man. Sometimes he babysits my kids. That's what kind of guy he is. So, great guy.
That's solid. Dan Lanning joining us. You look around the nation, and there's some incredible quarterbacks this year. Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, Dion Sanders, who we'll talk about in a minute, Drake May, Sam Hartman. I could go on and on. I could list another half dozen. Where does Bo Nix belong on that list in your mind?
Yeah, Bo, to me, I wouldn't want to coach any other one. He should be right at the top of that list. He's a dynamic player. He's a great player. The good thing about that list you just named, we get to play all of them. So we're going to find out.
And that is the truth, too, as part of the conference and otherwise. I mean, what a great matchup this is going to be. Colorado, Dan, is one of the biggest stories in all of sports, not just college football. And I've had conversations with guys like Mac Brown and Chip Kelly recently on the program, and they all expressed their respect for Dion Sanders and the job he's done in Boulder. You, as much as anybody, know how hard it is to win at this level. So how impressed are you with the way he's transformed that program and done it so quickly?
Yeah, he's done a great job. He's brought a lot of excitement, obviously, to the program as well. But, he completely flipped the roster, which isn't easy to do, especially early. So, really impressive job by him and his coaching staff.
All right, so you've got yourself a great quarterback. They do, too. Dion Sanders is not going to have his top target in Travis Hunter tomorrow, but they've proven to be far more than just one-dimensional. What has stood out to you about Shedeur as you look at film and the passing game as you're breaking it all down?
Well, I'd say decision-making and then playmaking ability to extend plays. He has over 70% completion percentage, which speaks to, the throws that they're asking to make at times, but also speaks to his patience to wait for people to get open. I think he's more of a scramble to throw guy, but he's had a lot of success when he's scrambled finding people downfield, and usually for big games.
Oregon head coach Dan Lanning is joining us. So it's a given. I mentioned Autzen. It's a given that Autzen Stadium, Dan, is one of the toughest places to play in all of college football. You know they're going to show up. The fans always do. But do you think, given all the hype surrounding the Buffs, that your fans might even be a little more hyped and a little more dialed in than usual? And then what kind of atmosphere are you expecting?
Oh, this place is going to be jumping, man. They're going to be amped. I can't wait to see them all out there. It's going to be a fun environment. I don't think there'll be a louder environment in college football this Saturday.
Hey, listen, you're not going to make it about you, ever, but even as a coach, do you yourself get even a little more juice out of a high-stakes, high-profile game like this one?
So coach speak is supposed to say no, right? But reality says absolutely. Like, you get juice for games like this that are a lot of fun and there's pressure. This is the kind of game that players and coaches want to get to coach in.
Respect. I appreciate that answer a lot. Dan Lanning joining us. So, Dan, what about the week of practice? From your standpoint, were you happy with the way your guys did practice this week? And what about the players? How fired up are they for the opportunity?
They're excited, but, our message has been really, really clear. Play the game, not the occasion. I always compare this back to when you're in high school and you got the homecoming, game, and there's the parade, and there's the dance afterwards, but none of that crap really matters except for the game. So we've had a great week of practice. I've also found at times that doesn't mean it's a great indicator of the success that you're going to have on the field. I thought our best week of practice in a lot of ways was Texas Tech this year, and then we went down there and had an absolute battle. So, it's still got to be played. The game's got to be played on Saturday.
I love that notion. What you just said, play the game, not the occasion. Play the game, not the occasion. You know how young players are, right? They're not going to go into a bubble, and they're not going to block everything out. What do you do as it relates to the noise, the expectation, all the chatter? What do you tell them what to do or how they should process all that information? What's the plan there?
Well, yeah, we talk about composed response and composed attack. So, I think that what you have to do throughout the week is talk through the scenarios that are going to show up in this game. We know there's going to be some chit-chat. We know there's going to be some pregame action. There's going to be a lot of stuff that happen outside of the game. There's going to be a lot of crowd noise. So really just coaching your players through, okay, when this happens, how are you going to handle it? And what's the best thing you can do for your team, right, to be a selfless player? We talk about being an us team. I think that's really, really important in this game is making a decision about how you're going to react to every situation before that situation happens.
Awesome. I like that too. Anticipate. Make sure you know how you're going to react because something's going to happen. Something always does happen. Make sure you're ready when it does. So, Dan, let me ask you this before you go. You spent a season coaching at Alabama as a graduate assistant. You spent 4 years at Georgia. You know the SEC extremely well. I'm curious, for the second straight week, the Pac-12 has got 8 ranked teams, which is something only the SEC previously accomplished. How do you think the level of competition in the Pac-12 stacks up against the SEC?
Yeah, it's unbelievable this year. I think there's a lot of great teams out here, and we'll see where the chips fall whenever the season, plays out. But there's some great football right now in this conference. There's no doubt about it. There's some really great teams.
All right, so the Ducks are 3-0. They're ranked number 10 in the AP poll. This is a big one. They're at Autzen, taking on number 19, Colorado. Their head coach is Dan Lanning. Dan, I appreciate you working through that, coming on the program. Great to visit with you. Good luck this weekend, and it's always good to talk to you, Dan. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jen. Have a good one.
You too. Dan Lanning. Love his energy. Love his energy. Love the way he carries himself. That's a whale of a matchup. They are enormous favorites. But as we've talked about with Colorado over and over again, the one thing about Colorado, looking at the matchup, it should not go well for them. But the one thing about Colorado is they have talent, and they are not afraid of the big stage. In fact, not only are they not afraid of the big stage, they covet it. They love it. Their playmakers love to play on that big stage. So you got to give them a chance, a puncher's chance. But Dan Lanning's done a tremendous job at Oregon. They will be ready. They're always ready at Autzen, but believe me, the players will be ready, and the fans will be ready. I can't wait for that game. So my thanks to Dan Lanning. Right now, time for a short time.